Shalom, shalom. Hayawam Tawab, which is good day. And Nakana Waha Ibar, Yashala. Hawalakim La Tham, Kol Shabawai Baharakha, Wakakshaw, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Ma'amath, which is certainly Hey with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua to preach to you so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Mechamatham, Kaya, Hamalakwat Hashemayim, Korab. Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Laim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua Bahasham Racha HaKodash Wa Mashana Kabadim Zukaim Nawa Wa Malakim Shaw Yasha Allah Hazakoyim Racha Gadawa Wa Chasa Wa Shalawam Wa Barakim Laha Bacharim Shawha Gawaya Shah Shalawam. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means He exists. Bahasham, and the name Yahushua delivers double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right, this is an article on Yahoo. It reads, Baltimore Key Bridge collapse. Live updates, 2 bodies recovered. NTSB to interview cargo ship pilots today. It says officials said they were transitioning to a cleanup operation to remove debris that is preventing divers from accessing the area where additional victims are believed to be. Police said Wednesday that they had found the bodies 2 people killed when Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed early Tuesday morning. Authorities said 8 workers were fixing potholes on the bridge when the cargo ship Dolly lost power and struck it, causing it to collapse. 2 of the workers were rescued. At a press conference in Baltimore on Wednesday evening, state officials said that they were moving from a recovery effort to a cleanup operation, removing debris that is preventing divers from accessing the area where additional victims are believed to be. Once the cleanup is complete, their search for the bodies will resume. All right, I'm not going to touch on this whole article, but nevertheless, it's been, different videos surfacing like on social media, pretty much stating that this is nothing more than a like a psyop or something set up by Esau, because they were saying pretty much things like, oh, they should have blew a horn on the bridge, to warn them that they was about to crash, and then it would, so-called coincidentally, another bridge was burned in Ohio. All right, which we're gonna touch on that, Lord's will. All right, yeah, let's go to that. It says Baltimore collapse highlights safety in Northeast Ohio bridges, which it was another one too, but this one is in Ohio, and it says the collapse of a busy bridge in Baltimore is making safety top of mind across the country and in Northeast Ohio. And they've been talking about the infrastructure being weak. It says in Greater Cleveland, it's virtually impossible to avoid many bridges that connect communities and dot skylines. Here in Cleveland, it's impossible to avoid bridges. You can't go from the east side to the west side without crossing a bridge, if not 2 or 3 bridges, said Clevelander Daniel Mateo on Tanda. All right. He said the safety of those bridges hadn't crossed his mind until recently. And you can't travel from the east to the west. Just like how it is in the rest of these cities. They gonna make it to some way to where those that want to go to a particular place, they can't go to those particular places. And then already they said that it's a police shortage in Baltimore. They said it's dangerously low. So being that it's dangerously low and that bridge is collapsed, it's gonna be more crime. So let's get this. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And because what they call any polycrises are they actually plagues of the Lord, because what do you do before, when in a time of war? You stop the supply chain. All right. And these different nations is at war, but You know, the Lord is also against Esau, Edom, and his hegemony. So the Lord is pretty much sending the plagues. He's touching Egypt like he did before. All right. So I'm gonna keep going in that article, and then we get some precepts. Lord's willing is edifying. All right. So it says, honestly, it's something you really think about too much. But now that this happened, obviously it is Antonetta said of the Baltimore Bridge collapse. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some precepts. All right, this is Bon Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 25, or verse 26. It says, For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. It says, because you can pretty much use things for good purposes, all right, because the Lord created the creations, all right, and they have good benefits, and they also have negative benefits. Esau uses things for negative benefits, i.e., you know, uranium. There's plenty of things you can make uranium with, but he decided to make a bomb with it, all right. So it says, the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. And these are things that's pretty much going into the essentials of life, you know. And how are the essentials carried, all right, across bridges? All right, they pretty much transported through the shipping, all right, because pretty much the Lord is touching the economy. That's also touching the economy by destroying that bridge, you know. That was in the spirit, and that's going to have several prophecies take place. All right, so let's get a few more. Let's get we get Second Esdras, chapter 15 again. And Salaklaya Kaya Wall, all right, which is Salakia for the noise. Forgive me for the noise. All right, but this is Second Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 11. All right, it says, verse 10. It says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's essentially what the Lord is doing. That's why they call them these. They pretty much like polycrises, you know, crises. No, it's not. That's what Esau does to sensationalize the people. Or if he puts a label on it, it's like, okay, that's all that's going on. You know, we ain't got nothing to worry about. It's just another crisis. But no, it's gonna be crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis. You know, which is essentially going into the plagues. All right, but I'm gonna read it again. It says in the latter, Second Esdras 15:11, it says, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. All right, and I want to go into touch on that word plague. All right, because plague coincides with that word smite. Because when you smite something, it's not guy. All right, and that root word hasharash the bar, and it says to touch, to reach, to strike. It says to extend, to befall. All right, and then it says right here, smite. Right there, smite. So going back, it says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And essentially what's going on right now, you know, the Lord is smiting Egypt. He's touching Egypt. All right, he's bringing the what they call polycrises. You know, the people just don't have the vision to see it. You know, we've been blessed with the eyes to see and the ears to hear what's in the scriptures. You know, so the men of the Lord are bringing out the word. All right, and what's essentially touching this place, America, Babylon the Great. You know, the Lord is doing His work. So this is Shamwath, Exodus chapter 7, and we can get verse 1. It says, and the Lord said unto Mashah, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, Parai, and Aaron, Aharwan, thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Yasha'Allah out of his land. And that's essentially the stead of the prophets today, all right, the stead of Aaron, all right, the prophet, all right, because the men of the Lord are chanting this place down, or bringing this place down through singing that new song, all right. And it says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. And these are signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. You know, you got the blood moon, the devil's comet. You know, you got that eclipse happening. All right, and then it also says my wonders. All right, and that wonders. All right, and it says Malpath. It says as a special display of the Most High's power. Hey, it's a special display because we woke up to this truth. Hey, this word has reached the gates of the nobles, man. So they understand, to at least understand that, hey, this represents the downfall of his kingdom. All right. And also the economy is being touched. All right. Morality is at an all-time low. All right. Nothing is it. Babylon is on when they say up and up, it's on the down and down. So it says, but Parai shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Matazarium, Egypt, and bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Yasha'Allah, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Yasha'Allah from among them. And so it says, stretch forth mine hand. All right, and that's why we got that word in Exodus chapter 11. All right, and it says plague. The word for plague, it says nagai, and it says to touch, to reach, to strike. All right, and that's the Lord essentially using his hand, what we just got right here, Shamwat, Exodus chapter 7 and verse 5. It says in the latter, when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt. All right, and the Lord is putting his hand on Egypt. All right, so we can get one more, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, and it reads, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Because you had World War I, World War II, and World War III is coming up. All right. And essentially, I wanted to bring this out because essentially, how was war carried out? You might have the I think they call them poly wars, or I can't remember the word for it, but essentially when the bigger person uses a smaller person to start a war, before that the actual bigger people come into that said war. All right. And then also, you start putting sanctions on them. All right, you start, destroying the bridges, which the Lord is using these other nations to do the cyber attacks, if it indeed was a cyber attack. But nevertheless, we know that it is the Lord touching this place, so we understand that we're in the time of the third war as well. All right, which represents the war, and that's what's coming shortly, because this place is going to be weakened, and it's going to be weakened in that third war's war. All right, so just want to go into that. Adawan Tazah, Zabanaya Palos, where that was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Water on Tazah, Adam Yashuan Tawab, a Lord's will. You all have a good day. Hey, Shalom.